drive out from among us the spirit of anger, the spirit of harm. Send your blessings to our children, that they may walk in the ways of your Torah, your light, your Torah, your Orah. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Page 13. This Shabbat is Parshat Vayera, where we learn Abraham's secret sauce, his superpower, his hospitality, the desire, the yearning to welcome and greet guests and bring them into his tent and honor them with a meal and even washing their feet for them. And in this, we sort of invoke the process of how to honor our midah for the month of November, how to honor guests. When we sing Shalom Aleichem, we start by greeting one another and then welcoming them in and then inviting them to bless us, to see them as a teacher. Our guests are our children, to see them as teachers. And then not to keep them longer than they want to stay. To let them go. That's a hard part too. They're applying for colleges and everything, right? So 4 steps to being a good host. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bless us. Baruchuni LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now we bless them as they go. Tzedchem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 41. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela yailai lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela Shamor bezachor bedibor echad Hishmeyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Ushemo echad Shemo tiferet velitila Lechad dodi likrat kal, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai, Elai, Elai, Lechadoni likrat kal, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela, page 43. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, kim haberacha, merosh mikedem, nesucha, sof maseh, v'machshvat techila, lechadodi likrat kal, yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai, Elai, Elai, Lechadodi likrat kal, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, page 47, Kabbalat, Yamim u'smol, tifrotzi, et Adonai, taritzi, et v'nismecha v'nagila, lechadoni likrat kala, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela, Elai, Elai, lechadoni likrat kala, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela, Elai, Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha u'tzola, toch emunei am segula, and we bow. Boi kala, lechad, greet each other. Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai, Elai, Elai, Lechadoni likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai, Elai, Elai, Lechadoni likrat kala, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai, Elai, Elai, Lechadoni likrat kal, Yananai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nikabelai. Let's stay standing. While we're greeting each other, we'll call together ourselves as a kehillah, a holy community, a minyan. Page 57. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. blessing for the cycles of light and dark in nature, page 59. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sharim, uvitvuna meshanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla. We bless the creation of light and day and darkness and night. Golelor mipnei choshech.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
You gotta do the service.
Yeah, Eagle wants to service.
Get out of here.
We talk to you later. Yeah, all right. Thanks for that. Hello, bye-bye.
Bye.
Before the light. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam ba'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Page 63. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adon Eloheinu B'shochveinu u'kumeinu Nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Le'olam ba'ed Ki hem chayenu Ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam, yomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha lo tasur mimenu leolamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mizuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Shema Yisrael. Listen, Yisrael, God wrestler, as it was translated by Rabbi Arthur Waskow, who passed away a week and a half ago. His memory for a blessing. So Jacob, of course, earned that name Yisrael by wrestling with God. But it turns out he came by it honestly. his grandfather, Abraham, had done some wrestling of his own with God. God lets Abraham know, as a sort of test, that he's planning to destroy these two wicked cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham doesn't hesitate. He speaks up. He says, but wait a minute. Aren't you the God of justice and fairness? Tzedek u'mishpat? Will the God of justice not do what is just? What if innocent people die? Surely there are some innocent souls in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. And God says, you got a point. What do you have in mind? He says, well, what if there's 50 innocent people in the city? Would you spare the cities on account of 50 innocent people? And God says, all right, I'll do that. And Abraham says, how about 45? See, bargaining, we come by honestly too. It's a Jewish lineage. In fact, Abraham pushes him down. 45, 40, how about 35, 30, 25, 20? How about 10? And God says, okay, fine. If there's 10 righteous people, there's the minion of innocent souls in Sodom, I will spare the city on account of those 10, but don't push your luck. That's the end of the debate. That's my final offer. So Abraham sets up this model, offers this model of wrestling with God, and the rabbis understand that this was a test. Even God, we rarely get to hear God's thinking in the Torah, but in this scene, God says, I asked Abraham to be a light unto the other families and nations of the earth and teach them about justice. So let me see how good he is. Let me see if he's ready for that. And so God clearly wants us to wrestle with injustice, to speak up against injustice. I think that's part of the reason for the trip that we're about to hear about, is a little bit of learning about the history, our history, recent history, and giving ourselves and the next generation a voice to teach, to preach, to be leaders among us. So I want to offer a prayer for peace first, and then a prayer for healing, and then we're going to invite Rosa to share with us about her trip. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 79. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha rabu banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze Eli anu ve'amru, ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, le'olam va. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. I'm on page 81 or 83. V'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Help us to lie down tonight in peace. Help all find peaceful rest this night. V'amidenu, and wake us and lift us up, stand us up in the morning to renewed life. And I'll read on page 82, the Kavanah. Enable us, God, to behold meaning in the chaos of life about us and purpose in the chaos of life within us. Deliver us from the sense of futility in our strivings, our endless strivings toward the light and the truth limping into the light. Give us strength to ride safely through the maelstrom of petty cares and anxieties. May we behold things in their proper proportions and see life in its wholeness and its holiness. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And let us say, Amen. All right. Do you want me to introduce you, or you want to introduce yourself? Okay, perfect.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom. For those of you who don't know me or who I just met at dinner, my name is Rosa Lawrence, and I'm a senior at South High School in Denver. And this past summer, I'm incredibly grateful to have traveled to Poland as part of the Joyce Zeff Israel Study Tour, or IST, which is organized by Jewish Colorado. For months, my group of 55 rising seniors anticipated the adventure of a lifetime, 1 week in Poland and 4 in Israel. We spent months preparing, dreaming of standing at the kotel together, singing under the Jerusalem sky, and celebrating Shabbat in Israel. Although the trip did not end in the way we expected, it truly was the adventure of a lifetime, and it changed the way I see both Jewish history and Jewish life. I want to begin by thanking Alan Adenoff and Mary Klinert for providing me with the scholarship that made this experience possible, and my CBE community, teachers, family, friends, for teaching me the values which I carried with me this summer: kindness, connection, and how to find hope in even the darkest places. We began our journey in Warsaw, a city that once held such vibrant Jewish life. Even with the busy streets and modern buildings, you could almost hear the echoes of laughter and voices that once filled those same spaces. My most memorable experience there was at the Jewish cemetery. Although it was in the middle of the city, it felt completely separate from the world around it, welcoming you in. The deeper I walked, the quieter it became. The gravel paths turned into dirt and moss, and the only sounds were the wind and the birds above. Gravestones leaned into each other like old friends, their stories whispering across time. Some were cracked, some covered in ivy, but all stood proudly, testaments to the lives they represented. In that quiet place, I began to grasp the unimaginable scale of the lives that were lost in the Holocaust. After Warsaw, we traveled to Lublin, where we visited Majdanek concentration camp. Our usually loud bus was silent as we arrived, and rain began to fall as we stepped onto the muddy ground. I remember thinking of how fitting it was, as if the sky itself understood of the weight of that place. We walked through the barracks, the sound of gravel crunching beneath our shoes, and I kept thinking of all the footsteps that would never be heard again. Inside one of the barracks was a long room filled with thousands of shoes. Some were small and delicate, some large and heavy. They were worn and misshapen, still carrying traces of the people who once walked in them. Standing there made the history painfully real. These were not just numbers, these were people who lived and loved and dreamed. While we were there, an Orthodox teacher guiding another group began telling a story about a young boy and his pair of shoes. His voice was steady, filled with both sorrow and hope. We stood together, strangers from different backgrounds, united by shared memory. When he finished, he turned to us and said how beautiful it was to see young Jews from all around the world remembering together. In a place built to divide and destroy, we found connection. At the end of that visit, outside of the crematorium, our group gathered to reflect and sing Hatikva, holding Israeli and Colorado flags side by side. In the shadow of destruction, we stood for hope. It was one of the most powerful moments, a reminder that no matter what our people have faced, we continue to rise and to rebuild. From there, we traveled to Krakow. We began the day at Lankut Castle and Synagogue, learning from the man who keeps the synagogue alive and thriving today. Later, we visited a mass grave memorial where thousands of Jews, mostly children or soldiers, were killed and buried. The scene was breathtaking: tall trees, golden sunlight, and a quiet breeze. Yet beneath that beauty was unimaginable pain. The contrast reminded me that Jewish history has always been a mix of devastation and resilience, of sorrow and strength. The next morning, we woke to unexpected news. The war in Israel had escalated overnight, and we would not be continuing our journey. The air felt heavy, and breakfast was silent. The same day, we visited Auschwitz-Birkenau. Auschwitz felt almost like a museum, with its preserved rooms and exhibitions. But Birkenau felt endless. When you walk through its gates, you look to the right and to the left, and you cannot see the end of the buildings in either direction. The horizons disappear into rows of barracks, and you begin to grasp the enormous scale of the effort to erase our people. It was overwhelming yet grounding, a reminder of how far our people have come and how sacred it is to simply exist as a Jew today. That night, after one of the heaviest days of our lives, we gathered at the Krakow JCC for Shabbat. The night air was warm and filled with song and laughter. We danced, clapped, and sang with our whole hearts. After days filled with sorrow, that joy felt like healing. Even though we were not in Israel, we felt Israel in that space, in our unity and in the bond we had built in just a week. We were no longer just a tour group, we were a family. The next day, we returned to the JCC for lunch and met Jewish teens from BBYO, Poland. BBYO is the world's largest pluralistic teen-led youth group in the world, and as someone deeply involved in BBYO here in Colorado, meeting them was incredible. They welcomed us with open arms, matching our curiosity about the difference in each other's lives. We shared stories about where we live, our BBYO chapters, Judaism in our communities, and we realized how much we have in common despite living in completely different worlds. It was wonderful to reconnect with some of them months later in Fairfax, Virginia, where I attended a BBYO executive conference. This week's Parsha, Vayera, tells the story of Abraham welcoming strangers into his tent. This Torah teaches that to welcome someone is a holy act, a way of seeing the divine in another person. On IST, I truly learned what that meant. We were not only welcoming to new people and new ideas, but welcomed by others. Everywhere we went, people opened their hearts to us. Guides who shared their stories, staff who cared for us, teens who made us feel at home. Their warmth reminded me that Jewish life in Poland is not only about remembering what was lost, but about rebuilding, reconnecting, and continuing the story. Amid the seriousness of the trip, there was so much joy. We made Polish friends while getting ice cream, went to water parks, held an IST Olympics, and my favorite, ate tons of pierogies. On our last day, we even played hide and seek in an abandoned castle. Those moments reminded me that being Jewish is not only about mourning the past, but about celebrating our life, community, and the light we carry forward. When I look back, what stands out to me most is not only what we saw, but how we were seen. Welcomed, loved, embraced by the people across the world. Just as Abraham opened his tent, they opened their hearts to us. That, to me, is the essence of Am Yisrael, the Jewish people. I want to thank Mary and Adam and Alan from the bottom of my heart for giving me this life-changing opportunity through their generous scholarship. Your support allowed me to experience a journey I will carry with me forever. I also want to thank my CBE family for raising me in a community that teaches us to find light and to look for deeper meaning. Though I did not reach Israel this summer, I left Poland with a renewed sense of purpose and a deep connection to our people and our land. Standing on the soil of our past, I felt the heartbeat of our future. I am planning on going to Israel for 3 weeks next summer with the same IST group, carrying with me the lessons and inspiration from this trip. Experiences like this shape lives and strengthen the spirit of Jewish youth everywhere. I am always happy to share more about my journey or talk about the IST tour with anyone who is interested. It is my hope that more Jews have the opportunity to walk these paths and feel the weight and strength of our history. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rosa. And if we want to take a few minutes if you have questions for Rosa, you can.
Yes.
Rosa, I know your trip was canceled, obviously, but can you describe some of the fun things you're going to do there? Ride camels,
Yeah. So we were supposed to spend a month in Israel, and kind of how this trip is structured is that Poland was a lot of more of the history of the Jewish people and reflecting upon that, and then Israel was just exploring the Jewish culture and doing a lot of really cool stuff. So on our itinerary, and hopefully what we're going to do next summer, we were going to do all the traditional stuff, like go to the Kotel and hike Masada. We were going to spend a night under the stars in the Negev, ride camels, do water parks, make chocolate, herd sheep, like tons of really cool stuff. What else am I missing?
Surfing for a couple days.
Yeah, surfing, scuba diving, camping, lots of really cool things. And another part they really incorporate into the program is that you hear from a lot of different perspectives. So you talk to people who are maybe from the West Bank or from Jerusalem and from different political views, things like that. So you really get a well-rounded experience and hear from a lot of different opinions, which is really cool. Yeah.
Have you kept in touch with the folks that you met who are not necessarily from Colorado? And as I'm assuming so many of you are in the same sort of grades, you're seniors and going on, what kind of connections have you established or what have you done to ensure that you keep those connections?
Yeah, absolutely. So going into the trip, there's 55 of us, and we were all rising seniors in high school. So we're seniors right now. Probably about 30 out of 55 I already knew and was good friends with, so that was really cool, just through other like Jewish involvement. And then the other 25 we like instantly just kind of brought into the groups and into that, and even within just a week of being with each other, we were really, really close. So something that we got to do about a month later is we spent a weekend at the CSU Mountain Campus, and we had a really nice Shabbaton there where we celebrated together. We went hiking. We did a lot of like team bonding activities. So our group is still very close. We communicate often. I see them all the time. So that's been really great. And then I mentioned a little bit about the Jews we met in Poland from BBYO Poland, and I was able to see a couple of them in Virginia in August, and then I'll see all of them in February for our like international conference. Yeah, so it's been really cool to like stay connected with all of those people.
Can you tell us something about the leadership conference that you attended and the role that you played in that?
Yeah, so this region that I'm in BBYO is called Rocky Mountain Region, which is Colorado, Mexico, and Wyoming. And I'm the regional Nasia, or the regional president of that. So me and my co-regional president went to Virginia for 4 or 5 days in August. And what they do is take all of the community presidents from around the world. So we're in 63 countries, and there's tons of regions are in the US, Canada, and Mexico. But other than that, it's just like countries are a region. And so there's about 150 of us presidents who attended this conference. And it's kind of a training initiative to teach us how to lead our regions for the year, to make connections with each other, to learn new strategies to bring back to our regions too. Yeah.
I think my daughter would love to repeat what you said was beautiful. Because what you said, would she be able to access that and read it somehow?
I couldn't hear.
Who'd like to read to make available Rosa, your presentation? Would that be available somewhere for us? It'll be on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube, so you can watch it too. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've not been very busy at all since your bat mitzvah then?
No.
Yeah, Mindy.
So we were in Europe last summer, and we found it very sad going to all these cities and seeing where synagogues have been and where communities have been, and plaques about. But it sounds like there was a balance of that with some hopefulness.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that was really cool was to be a big group of Jewish teens in those spaces. Especially when we went to like Auschwitz-Birkenau, there was a lot of tourists from around the world, which we found very interesting, which it makes sense. But I think just being a large group of Jewish teens in those spaces made us feel even more connected. And just the way that the staff helped to program everything and really giving us time to reflect and think through what we were experiencing made it very, very valuable. But yeah, we also we talked with a lot of different speakers came in, and we were able to learn about a lot of different aspects, not just like the more depressing aspects, but more hopeful, or stories of synagogues being saved or people escaping, things like that. So we heard about a lot of different perspectives and experiences. Yeah.
All right, David, last question.
Pressure. So I used to go to Warsaw fairly frequently, and the thing that struck me the most was how few Jews there were in Warsaw. And when I went, the temple, there's only one temple left, and it was covered up under construction, but it was the government that told it was under construction perpetually. And I'm wondering, when you were in Warsaw, did you meet a lot of Jews? Did you go to the temple? Is it still under construction, or is it open and?
Yeah, I don't think we met really any Jews in Warsaw. What we did do is go to the Warsaw Ghetto and go to the temple. And I don't remember if it was like rebuilt or reconstructed at all, but we were able to go explore that temple, which was an Orthodox temple, and we did a lot of like dancing, singing in there, which was really cool. But they had preserved it really well, and I think it is in use today, but we didn't meet any Jews while we were there.
Thank you, Rosa. Oh, amazing. We can ask her, bombard her with more questions at the ONEG. So this is a call and response song. Lo yisagoy, el goy chereb, el goy chereb. Lo yilmedu, od milchama, od milcham. Lo yisagoy, el goy chereb, lo yilmedu, lo. Od milchama, lo yisagoy, el goy chereb, lo yilmedu, od milchama, lo yisagoy, el goy chereb, lo yilmedu, od milchama. I used to study war. I used to, I'm sure. Oh, but I don't need to anymore. 'Cause I'm not who I was before. So I don't need to anymore. Do that again. I used to study war. Yeah, I used to, I'm sure. Oh, but I won't anymore. 'Cause I'm not who I was before. And I don't need to anymore. Lo yisago el goy chereb, lo yilmedu od milchama, lo yisago el goy chereb, lo yilmedu od milchama. prayer for our country, and then a prayer for Israel. Our God and God of our ancestors, bless this country and all who dwell within it. Help us to experience the blessings of our lives and circumstances, to be vigilant, compassionate, and brave. Strengthen us when we are afraid. Help us to channel our anger so that it motivates us to action. Help us to feel our fear so that we do not become numb. Help us to be generous with others so that we raise each other up, knowing that as vulnerable as we feel, there are those at greater risk, and that it is our holy work to stand with them. Help us to taste the sweetness of liberty, to not take for granted the freedoms won in generations past or in recent days, to heal and nourish our democracy, that it may be like a tree planted by the water, whose roots reach down to the stream. It need not fear drought when it comes. Its leaves are always green. And we say, Amen. And a blessing for the state of Israel. Our parent in the heavens and on earth, Rock of Israel and its Redeemer, bless the state of Israel so that she may become the beginning of the flowering of our redemption. Shield her with your embrace of love. Spread over her your sukkah of peace. Send your light and your righteousness to her heads, her ministers, her advisors and judges, and to the nation that elects them, and align them with the spirit of justice from you. As it is said, Zion through justice will be redeemed, and her captors through righteousness. Rescue all of your land, from the Jordan River to the sea, from the spilling of blood, and all residing and sojourning there under every government, from haters without and hatred within. Grant peace in the land and secure calm for her defenders, lasting joy to all her inhabitants, and real hope for all her peoples. And let us say, Amen. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama, lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. We used to give up hope. Yeah, we used to, I'm sure, but we don't need to anymore. 'Cause we're not who we were before, so we don't need to anymore. Lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama, lo yisagoy el goy cherem, lo yilmedu od milchama. Let's turn to Aleinu, which is on page 121. Please rise. Eino, 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 Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, נתן לנו תורת אמת, לחיי עולם, אתה בתוכנו. אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. Next page. ואנחנו קוראים משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. Next page. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. May be seated. I'll offer a prayer for healing. I'll begin the prayer and then offer some names. If you have some names to add, feel free to do that. Mishaberach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May the Holy One who blessed our ancestors grant blessing and healing to all those who ail. Joanne Greenberg, Linda Goldstein, Lawrence Fox, Liam and Matthew, Bill Bennett, Donald Roner, Harav Rachel Bat Rivka, Tom, Richard Moore, Batcha Bat Shmuel V'Margol, Shoshana Bat Lillian V'Ted, Eliezer Ben Shimon Pesach Va'an, Yehudit Esther Bat Chaim V'Batcha, Eleanor Quinn, Lucy Blumenthal, Steve Bernstein, Jamie Bernstein, Donna Cover, Armand Mangravito, Ken Larner, Bob Aaron, Norman Dickman, Devin Garola, Justy Salzman, Mary Barton, David Ginley, Nate Wallowitz, Hudson Dean, Gail Daniels, Stephanie Alvarez, Rona Mintz, Marcia Lehman, Helene Greenberg, Richard Berg, Bruce Daniels, Hannah Holstein, Maddie Epstein, Robbie Glantz, Stacy Magia, Sally Korf, Don Greenberg, Lori Feldstein, Tova Pesha, Kathy Kaiser, David Desch, Howard Weinberg, Robin Chalker, Nancy Friedman, Ron Salzman, Yehuda Benjamin. Other names to include? those we've named and those we hold in our hearts, and the too many we don't know to name, be granted refuah shlema, healing of body, spirit, and wholeness. And may their loved ones and caregivers be granted strength and perseverance and patience. And Omar, and let us say, waters of healing, waters of life, rise up and we'll sing with you. And we turn to those in mourning. Before concluding, we extend condolences to those who have had recent losses. We mourn with the families of Barbara Moss Murphy, Karen Diamond, Jacqueline Braun, Charles Ronder, Paul Kasbar, Nathan Ginn, Arnold Poppenberg Jr., and Kathy Corrigan. And the yard sites that we're aware of: Eric Laszlo Wolf, Jeanette Ketchen Green, Isaac Glantz, Elaine Court, Gertrude Eliza Ellis, Wayne Helgeson, Lillian Horowitz, Barton Greenberg, Diana Seiler, Jane Bradley, Hyman Larner, Albert Greenberg, Laura Mallon, Marilyn Raff, Mary Coperman, Bennett Brown, Robert Court. Other names to add for Kaddish: Ruth Eilenberg. Thank you. Kaddish is on page 131. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'elma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May those we've named be granted, be woven into our lives, the fabric of our lives, so we can continue their legacies. And may those in mourning find comfort among us. And may we remember from lives, too many lives lost that we heard about tonight. Elizabeth, do you want to do announcements?
Hello, everybody. So tomorrow we've got a bar mitzvah, and we've got a bagel table at 8:30, but it's only on Zoom because of the bar mitzvah. So log on and do that, and then come celebrate with Zach Kaplan. And then next week we've got a kibbutz and nosh dinner, and on the 28th we're having Rabbi Joe Black come and do our Shabbat service, and that should be very exciting. Yes, Black on Black Friday. So, it should be noted that on Sunday the 9th, Rabbi Jamie is starting his sabbatical, so everybody wish him well. Yay! All right, anything that I've missed? Oh, Wednesday. Yes, Judy Winnick is coming to present. She's doing a performance as Irina Sendler, the angel of the Warsaw Ghetto. She rescued hundreds of Jews, and it should be very informative. So, yeah, and entertaining too. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you.
Rosa, shalom, bimroma. Say shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, Ve'imru, Imeru, Amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imeru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimrama. Say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imeru, amen. One more time. Yadada, here we go. Shabbat Shalom. You want to stay for the oneg to help me finish off the wonderful birthday cake that Mindy made for me this week. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you to Rosa, and thank you to Corey and Mitchell, and of course Elizabeth. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.